One of the skills I definitely learned at Petty from early on was that you don't have to like know how to approach a problem to work on solving it. Because I feel like ever since freshman year working with the coursework you provided, or even like the math program here,
Yeah.
I feel like very quickly I got used to this idea that you can kind of pretend you know what you're doing for some time. Like that's kind of the mindset I fell into early here. That like if I see a problem and I have no idea how to approach it, like I can just kind of pretend like I know what's happening, and eventually just trying a few things out, something works out. And I think that skill was further refined like during the EXP program, because everyone's trying to figure it out at the same time, which is exactly what you said. So
Yeah.
and it's surprising how, despite like not knowing how anything works for like weeks, and you just try things and throw darts at the wall and something clicks and it works. Like every time like I've worked on a project now for anything, like I don't feel this fear anymore when like I don't know
Yeah.
what something means or how to approach something. I always have this mindset that I can figure it out pretty easily now. And I think when I talk to other people, I realize that that's not like a common mindset, because I think that a lot of people, when I talk to them, it's like you have to learn something before you can do something. And I realize now that it's a very different mode of thought that I think I learned at Petty specifically. But I think that's one of the most important skills people can develop. Because I saw this like in my sister too. Like she's pretty bright too. She's a freshman in high school. But I noticed like if she's never learned something before, and I'm trying to like teach her something,
Yeah.
she'll almost have this resistance like we have to learn it first before I can do it. But it's like for me like that doesn't make sense. I'm like, you learn it best by doing it. Like I hate sitting down and reading something. I want to just kind of start working on something and see how it all kind of comes together. So, but yeah, I think it's a really important skill. And I feel like I've seen that so many times in the math curriculum projects here, even with Mr. Frost in physics, where he wouldn't like when I would come with him with a question, he wouldn't give me the answer. He would just like keep asking me questions back. I think like some Socrates method or something. And I feel like every piece of Petty is like kind of instilled that in me. And it's pretty cool to look at it in retrospect now, that you can almost approach any problem in any field, and kind of with this mindset you can probably figure it out.
Yeah. But that's important, because that's why they changed MPS, right? Math problem solving. And people came in and said, I have an A+ in algebra. I have an A+ in geometry. I took all these summer courses. And then they come to MPS and they're dying. And I've never seen this. And they're saying the teachers aren't teaching me, correct? Because you've heard that so many times.
I never
right?
agreed with that when people will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in general, they'll start with Miss Montgomery. Like, oh my God, I need to get out of this class. This is horrible. And it's not a plug and chug. Here's your formula. Let's do 5 examples. Here's your homework. Do another 20, 30 examples, and then we'll do it again. And then we go to the next concept, right? She's teaching. She's teaching you how to think. She's teaching you how to be resilient and how to work in a group. And therefore, you try all these different things, and then you see the solutions start to form. And it's hard. It is so hard, because you have to figure out different solutions. So by the spring, everybody loves her, loves Mrs. Montgomery. And it's like, oh, I can't imagine not having her. But in the fall, in September, when the parents get upset because my precious A+ student is now getting a C, it's like, that's average, okay? It's okay to be average, because you're working with other students who also is plug and chug,
Mm-hmm.
right? They just know how to do formulas really well. But now we're asking you to think and to talk. So some people love it, some people hate it. In computer science here, we teach you both ways, right? Here's direct instructions. This is how to do something. Look at this code. Oh, I copied the code off the board. It works. We're cool, right? Or I copied it. I did ChatGPT. And then we give you a problem. And so if you give me tic-tac-toe off the internet, it's just this variable plus this variable plus this variable, and you're doing it by hand. It's good for 3 in a row, but what about 4, 5, 10, 100 in a row, right? The code gets massive. So we try to teach you different techniques. The people that want to learn, oh, I love arrays. Let's talk about arrays and how we can use looping. Oh, let's talk about classes. Let's talk about methods, reusable code. I mean, once the concept clicks and they realize they apply it to lots of parts in your life, and you do use it. But if you're resistant and you want to be told one way and that's it, from now on, I'm going to keep writing this bigger and bigger and bigger if statement, right? That's hard.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to they don't want to know more. They don't want to see different solutions. So, and that's what everybody at Petty's teaching. It's all integrated. between your language classes, between like, even if you look at, we talk about the design cycle. It applies to robotics, art. How many rewrites did you do for English?
Rewrites?
Yeah, if they gave you a paper and they said, here.
At least a few.
Yeah. Because your first one isn't always perfect.
It's just pretty bad.
Yeah. And they'll say, fix this, fix that, look at this. And it's kind of cool, right? Same thing for your programs. We'll give you something as simple as tic-tac-toe, and then we'll say, rewrite it using arrays now. Oh, look, connect 4. Oh, look, what if you're in a maze now, and it's a 10 by 10? What if you're in, right? And so each time it scales. And the question is, if your techniques change, then we'll get the kids who are really good at math go, but Mrs. Wolf, if you use this formula, I was like, well, why don't you go do it? And sure enough, they will use a different formula or a different mindset, and they'll be able to see it and solve it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's where we're coming from. This whole thing about, you're right, learn by doing.